What are you doing today?
Nothing. Got our camper all pulled out and airing out. And,
Nice.
yeah. Holy ants. I'm glad the mice didn't get it, but holy ants feel bad, man. Holy crap.
Hello.
Hi. So, can you hear me?
How you guys doing?
Yeah.
Yep.
You guys are, it's the same as before. I can hear you both. You guys just sound like you're talking in a tunnel.
That is so weird.
Huh, that's strange because you sound good. Perfect, actually.
So we got Fluffer on and Motley on right now, and of course, you guys can't hear each other.
Of course not.
Yeah. Thank God.
So that's what makes it interesting, though, is you guys get to talk smack to each other. And,
They do talk smack about each other, and yeah.
To each other.
That's fun.
Yes, it is.
Oh, I'm done with the smack talk, and he's a good guy. I love Fluff.
Well, pretty soon we can do this live in studio, and then we can talk smack to each other's face.
That's
Let me
correct.
know when we're rolling.
Motley just said he's done talking smack about Fluffer, and Fluffer just said, pretty soon we can be live in studio and talk smack to each other's faces.
That's right.
That's a Michigan fan for you, giving up.
That's right. Michigan fan giving up. That explains a lot.
Go green.
Hey, just so you know, the show is rolling. When I call you guys, the tape is always rolling.
Okay. Okay, here we go.
I learned that from one of our show people that will name nameless. I won't even give him the pleasure to name him. He was such an ass to me the last time we spoke that I'm not even going to give him the pleasure to name him. But I will utilize what he taught me. So
Okay, there you go.
yeah. So guys,
You're talking about omelet? Oh.
no, I love no. I like omelet. I like omelet.
Okay.
Okay, I gotta do it. I guess. You good? You figure out your stuff? Well,
What?
we are switched around now. We do have a studio set up at the house to where we could all probably kind of gather. We got a board big enough. We got the equipment. The only downside is the room would be kind of small with all of us in here, but we could do it.
We could make it work.
Yeah, we could make it work. We got cables long enough. Set up a small table, and so
Totally.
we'd be good to go there. No problem at all. So
Right.
the 10th, you guys, the 10th. We're all supposed
Jim,
to be
you're really
free on
loud
the
in my
10th.
headphones. Can you turn my
On the
headphones
10th?
down?
The 10th. The freedom is on the 10th.
Okay.
That's
Why
good.
it's the 10th?
Our governor has said that
That's when-
everything's supposed to be open. We're all supposed to open up on the 10th. The gyms are supposed to be open again. The movie theaters.
Restaurants already open.
Yeah, that's not what I meant.
Yeah, but I don't trust her, so
Well, thank God.
we'll see.
But you didn't trust her before when she said we had to close everything, right?
No, I don't
Oh.
like her. I don't trust her. She's full of...
Well, hopefully we'll all be
in my
open. We'll see
opinion.
what happens in a couple days.
Right. Yeah, give it a couple days after the 10th to see what happens.
Yeah, she says
Yeah,
one thing and,
and
then
then
does the
everybody
complete
comes up
opposite,
north
with
and-
a hypocrite.
Spreads it around up here, and we all get sick again.
Yep, I'll get sick again. That's right.
Now, let me ask, what do you guys
You know,
all
for
think
someone
about
that,
this? I think
Did you
it's
see
the
all the
Hold on,
backlash she
Fluffer.
got
Hold
for
on.
saying...
Fluffer, hold on. What was that, Motley?
What do you guys think? Let's get into a little bit of what you guys think about this George Floyd thing.
Ooh, Motley wants to know what we all think about the George Floyd thing.
Oh,
All right,
geez.
who wants to go first?
Oh, God, I need a beer for this one.
Yeah, you better get.
I
You better get a beer, Fluffer. Go ahead, Molly.
I should probably pour us another shot.
Yeah, go do that for us real quick. Yeah, I'll hold your beer. Go ahead. Go ahead, Motley. What's your thought? Move.
Hello.
Hello.
All right. So
Hello.
anyway, there's a couple different point of views. I've been listening to other people, to some Black Americans talk about this, and there's a couple points of view. As one, and I totally think this is that obviously that cop was out of line, but what one of these Black Americans brought up, a young lady by the name of Candace Owens, you can look her up, was that police brutality to Black people is overblown.
Oh, no question.
She said if you look up the numbers, you have a 25% greater chance of dying as a white man at the hands of police than you do if you're a Black man. Just strictly by the numbers. And she also mentioned that the Black culture is the only culture that seem to uplift and put on pedestals the lowest people in their culture.
They martyr them.
Meaning like the people who are criminals and the people who don't try very hard. And she said, these aren't my words, Candace Owens said, that the black culture is the only culture in the world where you really and behold these people who are not really good Americans. She used this thing with George Floyd as an example, and she pulled out his rap sheet. And she's not at any point, and neither am I, saying that guy deserved to die, because he didn't.
No, right? No, nobody's saying that. I don't think anybody has said that yet.
Anybody to think that.
Right. No,
that's not what I'm saying. But she was saying, this guy, she was reading his rap sheet, and when the police showed up, he tried to use a fake bill, basically, at a store to buy some stuff.
That's what I understand.
That's why the police were called in the first place.
That's why the police were called. Yep, that's what we understand. Mm-hmm.
And when the police showed up, he was high on fentanyl. He was high on methamphetamines. And there's a clip that the media isn't running right now that shows the police or him pulling out a bag full of white stuff, which is they believe to be cocaine or some other weapon.
Okay, sure.
And somehow everybody is now uplifting this man as some great American, when really he was trying to pass fake currency. He was high on methamphetamine and fentanyl, and he was not doing the right thing. This is also the same man that in, I think she said 2007 or 2009, was part of a group of black men that posed one of their buddies from the water for the city, like the Waterworks Commission, and they hit up this pregnant lady's house, and she tried to slam the door in her buddy's face. He kind of gets his foot in the door. 5 people pull up in like an SUV led by George Floyd, who was driving. He sticks a gun in the pregnant lady's stomach and says, "Don't move. We don't want to have to hurt you." They didn't search her house for drugs and money, didn't find anything, but took her cell phone and her. And the police later caught up with him, and George Floyd was the driver of the vehicle.
He was in prison for 6 years.
So her point
because
was,
of that.
and again, this man never should have been killed. In the manner he was. Let's all make, again, I want to make that perfectly clear. But why are we, even as white Americans, and why are black Americans holding George Floyd up to be some kind of man that was a martyr or a hero, when really he was high on drugs, he was trying to pass fake currency, and he's been in and out of jail since 2002.
Right.
And she was saying the black culture is the only culture that repeatedly does this. And again, her name is Candace Owens. And
we know who she is.
She is saying up.
Yep. I love Candace
But
Owens.
it made me think, because I agree with the fact that we all need to stop and take a look. And I agree that police brutality against anybody has to stop.
Right.
I still am having a hard time wrapping my head around the fact that the only way we can do this is kneel during the American national anthem to the flag. I have an issue with that.
Right.
Like, I'm willing to help out in any way, find a way to help out. Don't kneel for the flag.
Right.
I don't care what you're trying to prove. Talk about it on a microphone after the game. Start a foundation. You got plenty of money, plenty of time, plenty of ways through local and national media to try to get your message across for the flag.
So what do you think about it, Jim?
It's really bumming me out. But anyway, that's my part on that.
What's your thoughts, Fluffer? What's your thoughts on this?
Well, I could not hear anything Motley said.
No, I know. That's
what
why
makes
we're
it more entertaining.
I'm putting a disclaimer out there. Once I go down this train track, I'm not stopping until I end my rant.
Okay,
go
make
ahead.
it fast.
All right. So first of all, I'm going to start off with a disclaimer. I think it started out, it's a horrible incident that somebody died.
Yep, we agree.
I have police officers in my family. I fully support the good ones. There's always, a bad egg in everything.
Mm-hmm.
I think the media has blown this thing out, blown it out way out of proportion.
I would agree with you.
They look at, it was a white police officer kneeling on a black I don't even want to say suspect or whatever, detainee.
Well, he'd be a suspect at this point in time. I mean, he wasn't proven.
Yeah, he was being detained.
He wasn't
Correct.
a victim
And
yet.
basically, you know, if I'm sure Jim knows because, you know, karate and all that, or UFC, he basically did like a, what do they call it, like almost like a chokehold. He was cutting off the blood supply to his head.
Correct. He was.
But now you're getting riots. You're getting, I can never pronounce it. It's like that, what is it, the anti-AFTA?
Antifa.
Antifa.
Yeah.
Anti-fascist.
They're paying people to come out of state to riot and
correct.
pillage, and now you're getting like the protest downtown Traverse City, you know, holding up the signs Black Lives Matter, and then that term bothers me because even if I wasn't white, if I was Asian, Mexican, so it should be all lives matter.
I agree with you 100%.
I don't think that they need to hold a sign up, but then they keep showing the picture of the white officer and the black detainee. Let alone there was an African-American officer right there next to him.
An Asian.
Yep.
A Mexican one.
Yep.
And an Asian one.
Yep. Correct. Right there.
So
Actually, there was
putting the
two white
spotlight
ones
on
and-
one person when all 4 officers are in hearing distance of I can't breathe?
Oh, correct.
Okay, now here's where I have a problem with that is if you can't breathe, you can't say you can't breathe. You seriously cannot get those words out. And he was screaming and he was hollering but
if he would have said, "Hey, you got it's difficult for me,"
he had
it should have been another thing.
hypertension. He had hypertension and he had a heart issues. I
I
think he
think-
probably had a heart attack. I don't think, that they suffocated him.
I think that all 4 officers handled that situation wrong.
Positively, if
But like I said again, the media is putting a spotlight on just because it's a black and a white. Why? Because the media can get more ratings. Because everything has to be black and white.
It's a distraction from the freaking election.
And
And
then, like I said, and the people I agreed with downtown at the protest were the ones that had the sign that says "All races matter, all lives matter." Like I said, I have a thing about Black Lives Matter, and it's not because I'm white or anything. It's just the term. You know what I mean? So
No, I
any
know.
other nationality going past that sees a sign that says Black Lives Matter. Oh, so my life doesn't matter? And then you're getting every police officer is getting shit, and it shouldn't be like that. You know, Traverse City, just the Traverse City Police Department has probably got, 200 officers?
I have no idea. I
So let's
wouldn't
say
even
they're
know where to
100
begin.
officers. So they're not all going to be bad.
No, definitely
and the
not.
majority of them are not.
Yeah,
Most of
there's-
them
exactly.
are not.
And
It's no different than
that's
anything
what
else in
everyone is
society.
saying now.
There's
So
always
now
a
you
bad
get this
apple.
whole Black Lives Matter thing. So now all like these African Americans are rioting,
Well, you know,
pillaging, raiding the targets for whatever reason.
and honestly, blue lives matter too.
Exactly. I wore my shirt yesterday. I have a grunt style shirt that has the American flag with the blue stripe on it. Mm-hmm. Do you know what shit I got yesterday?
Oh, I'm
Probably
sure.
quite a bit.
I don't care, but like I said again, I have police officers in my family, and I support them. It's a shitty job.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It is a shame.
And
They don't get paid
because-
much.
No, they don't. You
And
know,
they
it's like
put their lives
teachers.
on the line as soon as they walk out their door to go.
You
to
know,
work.
like I think that people in the military service, people in law enforcement, teachers, there's other professions that should be paid the shit ton of money, not a basketball player.
and they get paid the least.
Mm-hmm.
So, what do you think, Jim?
But yeah, and it's just they're blowing it way out of proportion, and nobody's talking about what really happened. They just want to talk. They just want to make a big thing about it, and
Well,
Milwaukee's got a curfew now. Grand Rapids, Flint, Detroit.
Yep. Correct.
You know, there's real video going around of the National Guard going through these towns with Humvees and tanks and hundreds of troops going down the road, you know, yelling, "Get in your house, curfew's on,"
good.
with a horn. You know, it's almost like the Purge.
I was just going to say, I don't think that is good.
Well, no,
I
it's
don't
good
think that
that
is
they're
good.
trying to restore peace to those cities and make people stay home and
If they're
stop
gonna do that,
destroying
why
the
not do it
cities.
for the COVID-19?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
But
honestly,
but now here's the other thing of the coin too. I personally think the media is blowing it up because it's getting everyone looking away from the COVID stuff.
that and away from the election.
Exactly.
So, like
You know-
Motley said, Fluffer, that they chose this man who has a really bad criminal record to martyr, to put him on a pedestal. And I mean, he's not Martin Luther King. He's not.
You know, and there was an incident, it was less than 10 years ago. There was, I can't remember what exactly happened, but like a robbery or it was an armed situation, and they saw a black guy walking down the street with a hood on, matched the description perfectly, and would not turn around and put his hands up. So, okay, I'm an officer. My first thing is I want to go home to my wife and kids. If your hand's in your pocket and I think you have a gun on you and you're just not going to turn around with your hands up just because you want to be a jerk, but yeah, something tragic happens, and then now it's all the officer's fault.
Yep, you're a racist officer and you killed a black man.
Yeah, not the fact that he matches the description perfectly, the outfit, the height, everything, and then they don't ever report on when it's the opposite. I mean, you know, a black cop shooting 3 Mexicans that, you know, they thought robbed a liquor store.
Or a black cop shooting a white perp.
Yeah, it doesn't happen that way.
No matter what we do in life and in society, the issue of racism is always going to be an issue. It's always going to be an issue, whether it's really an issue or not. Because there is a bad apples in every race.
But at that protest, when we drove through it yesterday, everyone had their hands up. And it reminded me of 1930s Germany, the way they all had their hands up.
Right.
See, that's interesting. That's interesting because your guys' opinion, I'm floating right around the same thing as everybody else is right now. I think the national consensus is this. The individual was a bad man.
Well, not necessarily a bad man. He wasn't a great man.
Whoa. Now, did he not do multiple times? Multiple stays in the pen, and he was actually committing a crime at the time when the police showed up.
True, but
he was a good man. Is that what we say then?
All right, fine.
No, was he a good...
I want to say a good or bad man. I would just say he is a convicted...
He was a criminal.
Yes.
I mean, there's a lot of great people and nice people and good people that commit crimes. And what he did to that pregnant woman, that, for me, that makes him a bad man. You're right.
No, and nobody ever showed that the video started when the cop was on the guy's neck.
Exactly.
Not what happened beforehand.
Nobody has seen the video that led up to that point, but there was...
Correct. All of us have taken pictures. It's all about an angle. You can have 10 people line up in a line to go into a bookstore.
Right,
exactly.
The right angle is going to make it look like they're 6 feet apart. The other angle is going to make it look like there's a crowd.
Right. So, I mean, here's where I fall into this whole thing, because I when the whole Black Lives Matter movement started years ago, I saw their cause. I agreed with their cause. I got it. But it's not what it was supposed to be anymore. It's just...
Yeah, it's an excuse for people now to raid.
Yes,
I don't get why Target.
For them to act violently, and that's not what they wanted when they started the whole movement, or what they needed. I mean,
but think about if this was any other race doing this.
The people that were looting were not there to protest. The people were they were not there to say anything in favor of this guy or to put the police down on anything at all. They were there to take advantage of the situation.
Yep,
period.
positively.
They want their free microwaves and refrigerators.
Period. Correct.
Yep, and the TVs. So now with that said, I'm a conspiracy theorist. I've watched the video over and over.
See, I've learned a lot of that stuff with Jim, not about conspiracies, but if they're showing you shit in your right hand, look at the left hand.
Exactly,
that's
too.
right.
And I've learned that of anything from Jim over 10 years. That's the one thing I've always learned.
Okay, so now if you watch the video of that officer with his knee on that man's neck, or you see photos of it and you see the license plate of that police vehicle, the license plate says police. It doesn't have a number. It says police. What?
It's got a vanity plate.
What vehicle? What law enforcement?
Look at the Grand Shavers Police Department, Sheriff's Department, and State Police.
They have a license
number,
plates
but then they
with
have
numbers.
an X in the middle of it, and it says
law enforcement.
No, governmental use.
It says something on it.
Government use.
But it has an X.
The license plate number itself said police. How
that
are you able?
Happen.
It doesn't happen.
Now, there are some states that don't have to have license plates on the patrol cars, but none of them ever say just police.
Right. And then not only that, but when the ambulance arrived, they didn't try to revive that man. They didn't check vitals or nothing. They plopped him onto a gurney and took him away. And the ambulance drivers were police officers, not EMTs.
And if you also watch the video,
I think it's all a hoax.
Within the first minute, the cop adjusts his knee because that the guy moves his
Well, I
head
don't
around.
remember. I mean, these guys that
And if
Hold
you
on,
watch
Fluffer.
these
Hold on,
things-
Fluffer.
martyring right now and rioting for.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The rioters killed a black police
Yep.
officer in his
The ri-
70s.
The
in the
rioters
back.
did kill
Right.
a black police officer.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't he was a retired officer.
Right. But still,
Yeah.
he was a black man and they killed him. What the
Did you
hell
hear
are
about
they
the
rioting
officers
for?
yesterday or today in
Yeah.
California?
They're upholding a man that doesn't
Fluff.
deserve to be upheld, and they're killing men that do.
Exactly. And they're robbing and looting and destroying people's livelihoods and their businesses and everything they've ever worked so hard for. All in the name of Black
Yep.
Lives Matter. In the name of a cause that it's
Yeah, it's a shame.
they're protesting violence, but these rioters are violent. I don't know. I think the whole thing's a hoax. That's me, just because of what I've seen and what I've watched.
I like for Michigan at least. I think it's a way
That's
that
interesting. We should have B-Man
you know,
on next
on
week to see
Facebook and social media.
That's a great idea.
Whitmore can make you look at the protests
Hold on,
instead of what
Fluffer's
she's
talking.
doing.
Right?
No, I agree with you, Fluffer. That makes sense. Here's something else that's interesting, guys. I don't know if you've known this or not, but do you know on the 2nd of this month, Hillary Clinton went to court and lost her case regarding the missing emails, and she'll be forced to testify this September with regards to that case.
No, I didn't.
And on
And on the 3rd, Rod Rosenstein testified in front of the Senate regarding the Russia investigation.
Ooh.
And on the 4th, the Senate voted to subpoena over 30 Obama officials in the new and upcoming Obamagate case.
I did not know that.
Exactly. You didn't see or
Hang on,
hear
weren't
anything
those
about
on
it.
those dates too when the
Nope.
media was about like
The media
West
doesn't want
Virginia or
you
whatever
to.
state it was had like the target
Correct.
rated.
Correct.
Correct.
They had another state
Democratic
where it was like
media.
all targets. It wasn't any other big box store. It was all targets.
No, and Motley said it best, in my opinion. Unfortunately, it is the Democratic-driven media nowadays. That's the sad part about it. It really
They
is.
couldn't get the Republicans on
Yeah, unless you're
Russia.
listening to Rush
What happened?
Limbaugh or somebody on
It was all Hillary's camp.
580 AM, all Democratic, especially the TV news media.
Yep.
Right?
Sorry, Fluffer. We all
you're
really
fine.
need to be all in the same room so we know what we're all
It's going to make it a little easier. Yeah, definitely.
I mean, it's
But
fun
I
when you
just
guys.
think it's a load of shit. Like today, I can't remember if it happened today
What's
or
that?
yesterday, but I was
Hold on.
reading
Not you, Fluffer. Keep
Fluffer, you
talking.
continue. Motley, hold
Oh.
tight. We're right with you.
in California there was several sheriff's deputies that got ambushed in a pursuit,
Yeah.
and they're saying some of the people were the same riders in California. They got
Interesting.
ambushed with guns and explosives
Are you
and
there?
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're here. Fluffer's talking.
Okay, so in the picture, some of the riders, they're African
I
American.
didn't hear what you said last.
Hold tight, Motley. We'll be right with you.
Where's
Fluffer's
the
yakking.
uproar about
Okay.
that?
We can't get Fluffer to shut up.
I told you this was going to
Joking.
open a can of worms with me.
No,
No,
we know
it's
it.
fine,
and that's
Fluffer.
fine. I think that's a lot of people have the same sentiments, and I think we're
You
all
know,
on,
and
we're on the same
at least,
page.
like I said, in Michigan, now everything on social media is not about what Whitmore is doing illegally. It's all about, Flint this,
Yep.
Grand Rapids raid,
Yep.
coming up here. Is Northern Michigan going to have a curfew like they do in all these other bigger towns?
They needed these riots and everything to distract us from what those Democratic governors are doing to
Yep,
their
correct.
own
Look at
states.
Nancy Pelosi. We just got them in the mail. The application for mail-in ballots.
Yeah, they really want that. And remember what I've said in the past. It's not he who votes. It's he who counts the votes
If
that
you can-
matters.
Yeah, and it's Nancy Pelosi was the first stimulus package for all of us.
If you
She
can
was
stand
100% against. But this new one the Democrats just put up is 100 times bigger than the other one,
Oh, yeah, it's huge. I was telling
and she's trying to
telling
make
Nicole
it
about
look okay. Well, we're trying to help the people, but the Republicans, they're just mean and don't want to help the people. Where were you like 3 months ago?
Yeah, but the thing is also filled with a lot of, what do they call it, pork?
Yeah,
What do you mean?
like the last stimulus, the JFK Museum got like $25 million. The museum's closed.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Yeah.
There's a mom with 8 kids that needs that to feed her kids.
I agree with you.
And that's why it's the House, right, or the Senate that the bill ultimately has to go through and be passed through. And that's why they keep shooting it down.
Trump, the Republicans agreed to it the first time just to get people money.
Yes.
And
to
now
help
they're
them.
the Democrats are trying to pass something even bigger that helps them out
Them.
more.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Republicans are saying there's no way in hell we're getting, this museum and this place money when it can go to other things.
And we agree with you. That's what
To
I meant.
the
It was filled
American
with pork.
people. To
Big
the
box
small
stores
business
are getting the
people.
buyouts. So when these little mom and pop shops like J&S Hamburger or Randy's Diner, they're the ones that need the help.
All these places that were closed, but the big box stores that were still open are getting the stimulus money.
Yeah, and I
Yeah,
don't
they are.
agree with that.
Oh, I don't either.
I don't either.
Like I said, it's the mom and pop shops.
Yep. I think the mom and
When
pop
everything was
shops-
closed, we went to every little store, like restaurant we could do for takeout.
Kelly and I do that a lot. I mean, we'll go to the smaller mom and pop shops,
The local businesses.
the local businesses. Now, don't get
Yeah.
me wrong. Don't get me wrong. My local Taco Bell here at Chum's Corners gets my business a lot because
Oh, hell yes.
only because I try to eat somewhat healthy, and they're the only ones
Well,
that's
see, and
got
here's the thing:
a
is
good protein
places
bowl
like
and
that,
whatnot.
McDonald's, Taco Bell, all that, they're franchises.
Correct.
Somebody local owns them.
That's correct.
And
Also,
their employees are local as well.
That's
so here's
true.
a question that I have, though, that I tried to ask a minute ago: is if you can stand in line and buy groceries, why can't you stand in line and vote?
exactly.
6 feet apart, people. That's all you got to do. Wear your mask 6 feet apart.
Yep.
Take your hand sanitizer when you're done. It's
Yep.
all good.
Well, that's what I mean. Like Whitmore
And your I voted sticker. You got to
took the label off. The stay-at-home order is done. But yet, a lot of the same things apply. You have to stay 6 feet apart. So if you have to stay 6 feet apart, how is a restaurant supposed to fully open?
Oh, they're
here's
doing
something-
it, though.
Here's the thing that most people don't understand, you guys. This is what everybody says. She put out an executive order. The executive order only applies to the executive branch of the government. It does not apply to you and I. It does not apply to the judicial branch, and it does not apply to the legislative branch of the government. It applies to the executive branch of the government only, and only the executive people in that branch. So you and I...
That's why she's being sued.
That's why she's being sued. You and I we do not have to listen to an executive order. It is not, it's not law. It's an executive order for the executive branch only. Now, all of a sudden, everybody automatically assumes that you have to follow this or else you're going to go to jail and whatnot, but
It's
that's
just
not
the
true.
word executive.
Because if you guys saw here just recently, the barber that got his license taken away
Supreme
and got
Court
arrested,
overruled it.
the Supreme Court said, nope, you cannot do that to him.
They took his license.
No, they didn't. He's got it back.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
They suspended Whitmore suspended
Yeah.
his
Correct.
license.
And the Supreme Court said you cannot do that. He had 100%. The Supreme Court had backed the barber 100%.
Okay, now my brother is really good friends with the Leland County Sheriff.
Mm-hmm.
What did you guys think about? And I know after he sent the letter to Whitmore, I know a lot of other county sheriffs did.
They collectively sent one together.
Well, yeah, after the fact, but there was 3 counties in Michigan.
Yeah,
that
Leland.
were the
initially
first
did.
ones to do it.
That
Leland
initially
County
did.
and 2 downstate.
Right.
That said this is unconstitutional. I am not with, in regards of maybe a big box store opening, not following directions. Okay, they'll get a fine.
Mm-hmm.
And I give those sheriffs so much credit because they're the first one. We can't do this shit. This is unconstitutional.
Right.
Correct. That's exactly what it was.
All right,
And
guys.
it was awesome to see. That's when people started uniting, and then oh my God, here comes a riot.
Yep. Exactly. They needed to distract us from something. But you know what?
Yet again.
We have to wrap this up because if we go any longer than a half an hour, I can't get our show uploaded. That is why our last show hasn't been uploaded yet. I'm still trying to figure that out.
Oh, we'll do our rants next
No, it was
time.
great talking
Keep
to you
going.
guys.
There's gonna be more
Well,
shit going on.
We appreciate everybody's opinion with regards to
Yeah.
what we did tonight. That was really interesting that we touched this topic. I'm assuming that it's on everybody's mind right now, so
Yep.
it's an
Hey,
important
you
topic.
know what else? You know what else we could have B-Man on
Well, I
for
think this
next
is the
week?
first show we've done.
got
We're
a
so
hold of 'em?
serious. Holy shit.
Yes, Motley, we
Those
should
photos
get.
that the government has finally released on the UFO.
Oh yeah, we'll talk about that next
Ooh,
week.
yes, I
we'll
wanna
talk to
talk about
B-Man.
UFOs.
We've had B-Man on the intern
Oh, that
show
would have been
before, so
awesome.
We'll talk UFOs next week because the government released a bunch of stuff here recently. I was just looking
during
at.
all this COVID-19 stuff, and
Oh,
nobody
yes.
freaked out.
Nobody freaked out because
Well, as Jim has always taught me, that's
look at
when,
this. NASA
you know,
footage
like he was just
shows
talking to
bizarre
Hillary and-
meetings in the Earth's orbit.
Oh, Jim just scrolled through it right there on Facebook. It showed right up.
Yep.
All right, guys, let's do this. Let's call it a wrap for this weekend. We got our rants and raves out. It would have been interesting if we had had somebody that didn't agree with us.
Yeah, we're all on the same page. But you
We
know
are
what?
all on the same page.
I mean, I think it's the majority is. Now, I don't want to say that everybody's opinion doesn't matter because that's not true.
That would be
There
like
is going to
saying-
be different opinions, and I have no problems, and I'd like to hear somebody else's opinion. So if you're hearing out there, hit us up on the
Facebook, the non-intern show.
Facebook page.
And
yeah.
you can also send us an email at thenoninternshow@gmail.com. or noninternshow@gmail.com. I don't think it says the in front of it. But yeah, send us an email, hit us up with a message on our Facebook page, or comment on this. Like I made a thread saying, hey, if you have any questions, ask us a question now.
Yep.
So comment on that. And we'll talk to you next week.
Until next week, I'm Jim Smith.
I'm David the Fluffer.
I'm California Girl.
This is Motley.
Yeah, Motley. All right. We'll talk to you guys all next week. See ya.
Bye.
See ya.
See ya.